First question is what we call troop to task. And you and I have talked about this
Mhm.
before, but I'll regurgitate it for those who are new and listening. This is where you give them the first step that they can take into the STR space that you would recommend for them to get started.
Yeah, they're not gonna like my answer
Okay.
because the first step is still going to be setting up your business properly.
Okay.
So, what does that mean? That means registering your business, right?
Mm-hmm.
LLC, whatever it is that you want to do, registering your business, getting an address for your business, not your home address and not a PO box. Yes, you can do a virtual address, but when it comes to getting business loans and things of that nature, you want to have an actual address. But for the time being, a virtual address works perfect. Get a phone number for your business, not your personal phone number.
Mm-hmm.
You also want to verify your business on Google. So I believe that's Google Workspace. Um, and once you start getting guests in, you also want to send out for them to put reviews. And that's something I'm working on right now, right? For mine. But it's setting your business up properly, creating a social media for it,
Mm-hmm.
Instagram and Facebook,
Nice.
and even LinkedIn. My daughter's going to be doing that for me because I don't like doing LinkedIn. Um, and even a website. Now, a lot of hosts will say you don't need a website. You don't need it, but if you are planning to go the rental arbitrage with apartment complexes, you do have some that look. Not too many, but they may look. But you at least at bare minimum do your social media.
Right.
And I need to hire someone to handle my social media for my short-term rentals because I ain't got time. So to be honest with you, that absolutely is going to be your first step. Now, if you decide that you are doing short-term rental for your own property, so let's say, you know what, Janelle, I don't want to do arbitrage. I'm not using other people's property, so I don't even have to worry about that. I'm going to say still set your business up, but let me give you another step that you can do. Give me a second so I can think. The first step you want to do is doing market research.
Okay.
Again, not the sexiest thing. It's a little bit boring. I get it, but that's what's going to help you kind of um, know what you can charge and know the gaps with your competition. And so, what I mean by that space is you may find out that you may think that your house is so dope and so gorgeous that you want to charge $200 a night, but market research shows that your competitors are only charging 175. And so, are you going to get bookings, especially as a new host? For $200, chances are you
Probably
probably
not.
won't. Now, what matters is comparables, and anybody that's in real estate knows about comparables. It needs to be comparable to that. God, I think I just said it two different ways.
It's
Anyway,
cool. Don't worry about it.
so if you have a house, so if you have a house and it's two bedroom, one bath, don't
Mm-hmm.
compare it to a house that has three bedrooms, two baths. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It needs to be on the same line. And so that's one of the things you want to do so that you can when you set it up on Airbnb, you start getting those bookings fast because you've already done your homework and you know what to charge guests. So and then again, you also may want to even consider giving a little bit of a discount for an incentive to hurry up and get those bookings. The quicker you get those bookings, the more money you get in your pocket quick. And then the quicker you start getting those reviews, which is going to bump up your algorithm as well. So I think that was helpful for some first steps.
Ooh, somebody just made out with the bank. Okay, let's go into the last question. Janelle, the last question is: what
Okay.
question do you wish you were asked more often, and what's the answer to that question? The toughie.
Uh, gosh, I I don't that is hard. What question do I wish I was asked more often?
Mm,
Um, hmm, hmm. You know what? Because recently I've been getting, oh, I see you do Airbnb. I want to get into Airbnb.
mm-hmm.
Um, what do I need to do? And I don't. I wish they would rephrase it as to, can I wish it was like, how do I run a short term rental business versus how do I work Airbnb?
Right.
Let me tell you why that's so important. Um, and in some big cities, they already have regulations in place and things of that nature. And in other cities, that's happening where they're coming in, they're putting regulations, they're making the barrier for entrance a little bit not difficult, but you have to take a few extra steps, and they're putting restrictions because you have so many bad hosts. And
Right.
so it ruins it for good hosts. And good hosts include good hosts who actually care about their guests and actually care about their business.
Mm-hmm.
And so Airbnb is getting such a bad name, where hosts, good hosts, are having issues acquiring rental arbitrage because
Wow.
of the bad hosts. And so I wish that people would ask me, how do I set it up properly to run a real and strong short term rental business
Mm-hmm.
versus how can I make money on Airbnb?
That's an excellent thought process because, like you said, the words hear it here first. Words have
Mm-hmm.
actual meanings, right? So everything
Mm-hmm.
you word, you have to word it correctly, and that's a
Mm-hmm.
really good way of doing that. And for those who are
Yeah.
listening, still a little bonus for you because I did a little bit of STR research myself, and I
Mm-hmm.
called my county and asked them, "Hey, is there any? What are the laws for Airbnb? Right? What are the
Yeah.
Airbnb regulations?" Janelle, I was laughed at on the phone. The guy laughed at me. He was like, "What are you talking about? We don't have any laws." I said, "Okay, well, thank you for your time, sir. I appreciate it. I'm gonna go ahead and get my embarrassed self off this thing. Have a great day." Right?
What are you
This,
talking about? We don't have
right?
any.
He was like, he literally laughed, like no joke, not
Yeah.
exaggeration.
Yeah.
Started laughing on the phone and said, "We don't
Yeah.
have any short-term rentals."
So sometimes the state or city may have some regulations in place for short-term rentals. So
Yep.
there's another thing, the terminology.
Mm,
That's another question. Stop asking me
mm.
about Airbnb. And even for me myself, I'm going to stop putting Airbnb on my videos because the correct terminology is short-term rentals.
Right.
Airbnb is the platform. You know what I'm saying? So that's
That's
like,
true.
oh, I want to start a booking.com. Nobody
Yeah.
says that
Give
because
me
it's
a
a platform.
Kleenex. Give me a Kleenex. No, it's
Right,
tissue. Kleenex
exactly.
is just a brand.
So, one, it could be terminology too,
Mm-hmm.
where because I know Maryland has, well, especially DC for sure.
Yeah.
But sometimes it may not be your state or city. Your HOA may have those restrictions.
Ooh,
Uh,
that's a good
and
point.
it can be broken down. There is a neighborhood in Atlanta where it's banned. You know what
Wow.
I'm saying? So you have to do your research on that as well. However, uh, there are workarounds to wisdom to the,
Loopholes. Okay.
but
Okay.
yeah, there are loopholes.
All
But I ain't gonna tell y'all, not right now.
right.
That's
I
giving out
love
to.
it.
But I will say this: read it. When they say, "Oh, we have regulations or there's ordinances," whatever is in place, read it, see what it says, and then say, "Okay, well, what does that mean? What is the
Right.
definition of this?" And then you can start figuring out the loopholes.
So let's give the people, Janelle, because we're going to close out now, but let's give the people what they want. I want them to get a hold of you. I know somebody's made it to the end of this podcast, the end of this video cast, and they're like, I got to talk to the best to ever do it. I need to get a hold of Janelle. How do they get a hold of you? How can they work with you? Plug everything right now.
The best way is through Instagram. So if you go to New Home Secrets, the link in my bio has everything in there. So if you want to schedule a call, um, it has everything in there. Now, as far as if you want to work with me, scheduling that call, that 15-minute call, is the best way so that I can find out what your needs are and then I can assist you. So, newhomesecrets.com, link in the bio, and it says schedule a 15-minute consultation. And then we go from there.
Janelle, you are beautiful. You are amazing. You are
Thank
the
you.
best. Thank you so much for coming on
Thank
today.
you.
I hope somebody got some value out of this. Make sure you go back and watch this if you're on YouTube. You'll see Janelle's tag come across the screen 500 or 600 times. I promise you, it's probably still not enough, and you might miss it. But if you go back, you'll catch it. We thank you guys for tuning in today. Again, thank you so much for coming on, Janelle. Ladies and
Thank you.
gentlemen,
I appreciate it.
it's our
Thank
absolute
you.
honor. It's our absolute honor. Remember, everybody, you're better than you were, but you're not half as good as you. I mess it up every time. You're better than you were, but you're not half as good as you're gonna be. Love you guys. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.